How to Think and Speak. The morning sun barely pierced Alex's blinds, yet a familiar dread already settled in. Another day of linguistic struggles awaited, a daunting uphill battle against forgotten words and tangled sentences. Alex yearned to articulate thoughts seamlessly, to participate in conversations without that suffocating feeling of inadequacy. The dream of fluent English felt perpetually out of reach, a distant star in a cloudy sky. Every evening, the same self-reproach haunted Alex. Why couldn't those new vocabulary words stick? They vanished like mist, leaving behind only the frustration of missed opportunities and silent moments. Remembering words felt like an impossible magic trick, a skill reserved for others, not for someone burdened by daily linguistic amnesia and constant self-doubt. Alex had tried numerous methods, from extensive grammar books to endless flashcards, but genuine conversational fluidity remained elusive. The sheer volume of information often felt overwhelming, a vast ocean of English concepts without a clear navigational map. This day's struggle was exhausting, chipping away at motivation and reinforcing the belief that fluent communication was a distant dream. The pressure mounted, especially when encountering native speakers. A simple question could trigger a full-blown panic, words scrambling, sentences collapsing under the weight of self-consciousness. Alex often wished for a magic switch, something to instantly unlock the ability to think and speak English naturally, without hesitation or that dreaded internal translation process slowing everything down. Even at home, the silence felt heavy. Alex found it hard to simply start talking at home, even to oneself, feeling silly or unproductive. Yet, deep down, a whisper suggested this internal practice might be a key. The fear of making mistakes, even alone, was a formidable barrier, hindering any attempt at uninhibited self-expression in English. One quiet afternoon, scrolling through language forums, Alex stumbled upon a concept: how to think and speak directly in English. It sounded revolutionary, a direct challenge to the ingrained habit of translating every thought from the native tongue. Could this truly be the best way to learn English, bypassing the mental gymnastics that made conversations so arduous? This idea resonated deeply. The constant internal translation was indeed Alex's biggest enemy, slowing down responses and making spontaneous conversation nearly impossible. The articles emphasized cultivating an English-only mental space, gradually weaning the brain off its dependence on the first language. It was a daunting prospect, but a glimmer of hope appeared. The journey began with small steps. Alex started labeling objects around the house, not just naming them, but describing them internally in English. A red chair became a comfortable, sturdy red chair, actively building descriptive vocabulary. This initial attempt at how to talk at home to yourself felt awkward, yet oddly liberating in its private setting. Remembering words remained a core challenge. Alex learned about spaced repetition and linking new words to vivid mental images or personal experiences. Instead of rote memorization, the focus shifted to contextual understanding and emotional connection. This new approach to how to remember words promised greater retention and less frustration in the long run. The concept of talk in English just one page per day became a cornerstone of Alex's new strategy. This manageable goal felt less intimidating than devouring entire textbooks. Reading short stories or articles Focusing on comprehension and word usage slowly built confidence. It was a steady drip, not a flood, of new information, making learning sustainable. Alex meticulously maintained a small notebook, jotting down new phrases from the daily page, not just single words. The emphasis was on learning chunks of language, how words naturally combined. This helped transition from isolated vocabulary to functional sentences, bridging the gap between passive understanding and active use, a crucial step in how to learn English. The start talking at home, advice transformed into a daily ritual. Alex began narrating simple activities, like making coffee or tidying up, describing actions and thoughts aloud in English. This private monologue was crucial for overcoming the initial shyness and awkwardness of speaking, building fluency without immediate external judgment or pressure. This self-talk evolved. Alex started posing questions to the mirror and answering them, simulating dialogues. It felt peculiar at first, but the consistent practice honed pronunciation and sentence construction. This dedicated time to how to talk at home to yourself became a safe experimental space, fostering comfort with the sound of one's own voice speaking English. To combat the day struggle, Alex integrated English into mundane tasks. While commuting, mental conversations unfolded, planning the day or reflecting on events, all in English. This pervasive immersion strategy ensured constant exposure and application, turning every moment into a potential learning opportunity, fostering organic language acquisition over time. The next significant step was practicing how to talk to people in pairs. Alex found a language exchange partner online, someone with similar goals. The initial conversations were hesitant, marked by pauses and searches for words, but the shared understanding and supportive environment made the process less intimidating than expected. It was a crucial step. These paired sessions provided invaluable real-time feedback. Errors were gently corrected, and new expressions were exchanged. Alex focused on actively listening and responding, rather than pre-planning entire sentences, which truly helped in learning how to think and speak spontaneously. The awkwardness gradually diminished, replaced by genuine communicative flow and growing confidence. The partner introduced Alex to various British English nuances, from specific idioms to common colloquialisms. Let's Talk in British English became a fun sub-goal, adding a layer of cultural depth to the language learning journey. This specific focus enriched vocabulary and pronunciation, making the language feel more authentic and vibrant. Alex also started using a voice recorder during self-talk sessions, listening back to identify pronunciation issues and grammatical errors. This objective self-assessment was uncomfortable at first, but proved incredibly effective. It highlighted areas for improvement that passive practice might have missed, accelerating progress in the How to Learn English journey. Remembering words became a less stressful process. Alex used an app that incorporated spaced repetition, showing words just as they were about to be forgotten. This systematic approach, coupled with creating personal example sentences for each new word, cemented vocabulary effectively, making how to remember words a scientific, not magical, process. The 1 page per day commitment extended beyond reading. Alex began attempting to write 1 page of a journal entry in English, summarizing the day's thoughts or experiences. This active production solidified grammar rules and vocabulary, forcing deeper engagement with the language and transforming passive knowledge into active proficiency, strengthening the learning process. The initial discomfort of start talking at home gradually faded, replaced by a sense of accomplishment. The inner monologue in English became more natural, less forced. Alex realized that the brain was slowly rewiring itself, thinking directly in English without the intermediate step of translation, truly embodying the how to think and speak principle. This mental shift was profound. When encountering a new situation, instead of forming a thought in the native language and then translating, the English expression often came first. It was a tangible sign of progress, moving beyond basic memorization to genuine fluency, making the best way to learn English a deeply personal and transformative experience. Alex continued to tackle the daily struggle by integrating English into entertainment. Watching British TV shows without subtitles or with English subtitles only immersed Alex in authentic speech patterns and cultural contexts. It was challenging initially, but the consistent exposure sharpened listening skills and contextual understanding immensely. Role-playing became a frequent activity during How to Talk to People in Pairs sessions. They simulated job interviews, ordering food at a restaurant, or discussing current events. This practical application prepared Alex for real-life scenarios, boosting confidence and fluency by practicing navigating diverse conversational contexts under pressure. The commitment to talk in English just one page per day evolved into a hunger for more. Alex started reading longer articles and even short novels, slowly increasing the reading volume. Each page contributed to a richer vocabulary and a deeper understanding of sentence structures, continuously expanding the linguistic landscape. The initial shyness about start talking at home completely vanished. Alex found comfort and even joy in the private practice, using it as a space to experiment with new expressions, practice different accents, especially British English ones, and consolidate newly learned vocabulary without any external judgment or pressure for perfection. This constant internal narration, a continuous loop of how to talk at home to yourself, served as a powerful cognitive exercise. It trained the brain to process information and form responses directly in English, building neural pathways that bypass the slower translation process, moving towards true native-like fluency over time. Remembering words was no longer a chore. Alex created a personal word bank of frequently used or challenging words, reviewing them actively. The technique involved recalling words from memory based on context clues or images, reinforcing the connections, demonstrating how the how to remember words strategy had finally clicked into place. The improvement was palpable during paired conversations. The flow was smoother, pauses were shorter, and a wider range of vocabulary was naturally incorporated. How to Talk to People in Pairs sessions transformed from stressful drills into enjoyable exchanges of ideas, making Alex excited for each new opportunity to speak and connect. Alex found joy in the nuances of "let's talk in British English," mimicking pronunciations and using phrases like rubbish instead of trash or lift instead of elevator. This specific cultural immersion made the learning process more engaging and personal, moving beyond mere grammar rules to embracing a complete linguistic identity. The concept of how to learn English had become deeply intertwined with Alex's daily routine. It wasn't a separate task, but an integrated lifestyle. Every interaction, every piece of media, every thought became an opportunity for English practice, turning the language into a living, breathing part of existence, reducing the daily struggle. The transformation was remarkable. Alex could now engage in complex discussions, express opinions clearly, and even tell jokes in English. The once intimidating how to think and speak challenge had been conquered through consistent, deliberate practice, replacing anxiety with confidence and genuine communicative freedom in any context. Alex realized that the best way to learn English wasn't a single magic formula, but a combination of consistent effort, personalized strategies, and a willingness to step out of the comfort zone. It was about creating an immersive environment, even if initially that environment was primarily within one's own home and mind. The fear of making mistakes, once a paralyzing force, had largely dissipated. Alex understood that errors were part of the learning process, not a sign of failure. This new mindset, cultivated through persistent self-practice and supportive peer interaction, allowed for more uninhibited experimentation and faster progress, turning struggle into growth. Remembering words now felt instinctive. Alex didn't just recall isolated words but entire collocations and idiomatic expressions, a direct result of consistent reading. Talk in English just one page per day, and active self-talk. The brain had built a robust network of vocabulary, making retrieval effortless and natural during conversations. The how to talk at home to yourself practice had fundamentally altered Alex's cognitive processes. It was no longer about translating thoughts. It was about forming them directly in English. This continuous internal dialogue paved the way for seamless external communication, making how to think and speak an automatic and subconscious process. The paired conversations flourished. Alex and the partner discussed a wide range of topics, from politics to personal experiences, deepening their bond and sharpening their linguistic skills. How to talk to people in pairs became a joyful exchange, demonstrating the power of collaborative learning and the importance of consistent verbal practice. Alex even started dreaming in English occasionally, a surreal yet exciting milestone. This indicated a profound level of immersion and cognitive integration. The language was no longer just a subject to be studied. It had become an integral part of Alex's subconscious mind, transforming the very fabric of thought. The advice, "start talking at home," had evolved into a core self-improvement habit. Alex found that even a few minutes of self-narration before bed helped solidify new vocabulary and grammatical structures from the day's learning, reinforcing the lessons and preparing the mind for continued progress in the journey to fluency. The previous daily day struggle had been replaced by a dynamic, engaging routine. Each day brought new opportunities to apply and refine English skills, making the learning process feel less like a chore and more like an exciting adventure. Alex was living proof that persistence and the right strategies yield incredible results. Embracing "let's talk in British English" had been particularly rewarding. It opened doors to a specific cultural context, allowing Alex to appreciate British humor, literature, and media more deeply. This specialized focus added a unique flavor to the fluency journey, making it a richer and more personal experience for sure. Alex's confidence soared, not just in English, but in overall self-efficacy. The journey of mastering a new language, particularly one that once felt so daunting, instilled a profound belief in one's ability to overcome challenges. How to learn English became a metaphor for personal growth and resilience in daily life. The ability to how to think and speak fluently changed Alex's life. Career opportunities expanded, travel became richer, and new friendships blossomed through shared conversations. The linguistic barrier had crumbled, revealing a world of possibilities previously hidden behind a wall of apprehension and self-doubt, proving the methods worked. Remembering words was now effortless. The constant exposure through reading, talk in English just 1 page per day, listening, and active practice had wired the brain to effortlessly retrieve vocabulary. It was no longer about brute force memorization, but about natural, contextual recall, a true sign of advanced linguistic proficiency. The start talking at home discipline had been instrumental. It provided the safe space necessary for initial experimentation and habit formation before venturing into public conversations. It demystified the speaking process, building the foundational confidence required for all subsequent interactions, paving the way for fluent communication. How to talk to people in pairs proved to be the bridge from isolated practice to real-world application. The structured yet flexible nature of these conversations allowed for targeted improvement, addressing specific weaknesses while reinforcing strengths, making the transition to broader social interactions seamless and much more effective. Alex often reflected on the initial daily struggle, marveling at the transformation. The feeling of being tongue-tied and inadequate was a distant memory. The journey was a testament to the power of breaking down large goals into manageable steps, like reading just 1 page, and celebrating every small victory along the way. The process truly showed that the best way to learn English is highly individual, but always involves consistent, deliberate practice. It's about finding what resonates, embracing discomfort, and maintaining curiosity. For Alex, it was a blend of self-reflection, structured learning, and meaningful social interaction, all tailored perfectly. Alex now advocates for integrating English into everyday life, not just confining it to study hours. The kitchen, the commute, the quiet moments, all became classrooms. This pervasive approach, particularly how to talk at home to yourself, made the learning process natural, organic, and ultimately profoundly effective for mastering the language. The specific choice to "let's talk in British English" provided a unique cultural immersion, adding layers of authenticity to Alex's communication. It highlighted that learning a language is not just about words and grammar, but also about understanding the cultural context and nuances that make a language truly alive and vibrant for a learner. Alex's story became an inspiration, a living example of how to learn English effectively. The journey from struggle to fluency was a testament to perseverance, the intelligent application of various techniques, and the courage to embrace change, proving that anyone can achieve their linguistic dreams with dedication and the right approach. The key takeaway remained: consistent effort, even small, daily steps, accumulate into monumental progress. Talk in English just 1 page per day wasn't just a reading goal. It symbolized the power of tiny habits compounding over time, leading to significant linguistic breakthroughs and a complete mastery of the English language. Alex now confidently engages in conversations, delivers presentations, and even mentors other language learners, sharing insights on how to remember words and how to think and speak effortlessly. The once feared language had become a powerful tool for connection and personal expression, enriching every aspect of life, demonstrating growth. The journey emphasized the importance of self-compassion during the My Daily Days struggle. There were setbacks, but instead of giving up, Alex learned to view them as opportunities for refinement. This resilient mindset, combined with structured practice like how to talk to people in pairs, ensured continuous, sustainable growth in English. Today, Alex smiles, a fluent speaker, living proof that start talking at home can indeed lead to confidently talk, to people in pairs and beyond. The dream of fluent communication, especially in British English, had not only been realized but surpassed, opening a world of new possibilities and endless linguistic adventures.